I feel like something we need more of is beauty in shows and stuff like that. Because there's nothing that hooks me more than a beautiful fucking show. Let me be the teacher here. If I watch a show and it looks like this, I can excuse as much filler as you want it. You can have, I don't care if they're just walking for a forest. If it looks like this, I will watch them walk for a forest and I will watch every damn second of it. And of course, you still need interesting characters and development and blah 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 blah. You need all that shit. But if it looks good, like you know what I mean? Like I can kind of excuse that if it's really beautiful and really good looking. I can excuse the filler. I still think that the filler should have something, like some character development or some development of the story, at least. No, of course, you still need a good story and you still need good characters, because the beauty can't carry it all the way. It just can't. It's impossible. But if you have, I feel like even just two of them, if you have a good story and it looks beautiful, then the characters can kind of be excused and it can still be really, really good. Now, the graphics doesn't need to be 8K. It just doesn't need to be 8K crispy clear. Sometimes a different art style or a different way to do it can be more than enough. It's not the quality of it. It's not that it's 8K 120 frames. If the art style is really unique and really special, and if they, for example, complement the world with the art style and the colors and the characters. I feel like a show that is really good with Cyberpunk Netrunners. The show in itself is kind of, like, it looks good, don't get me wrong, but it's not like super crispy, clear 8K. It's more of the way they did the animation, it's more of the way they did the colors and the lighting and the world, and the colors and the art style just fits perfectly and complements this world perfectly, especially the cyberpunk world with a bunch of neon lights and tall skyscrapers reflecting lights and stuff like that. It complements the world. Beautiful. And I feel like Blade Runner did it really good too, with the whole world building and the lighting. The lighting complements the world. The world is just beautiful. Sometimes they make it look empty while still having huge skyscrapers and a bunch of shit in the background. But it still looks empty and dystopian. And that is just the beauty of it. It's the world that they're creating. And again, I feel like it can excuse a lot of things if you just have two of them. If you have a really beautiful cast of characters and the thing looks visually stunning and unique, then the story can kind of be excused in a way. Now, another show that you can kind of prove this with, and I feel like you can use as a good example, is Invincible. The animation is not always the greatest, let's be honest. It's kind of 50-50. But the characters are really good and the story is really nice. And I feel like, again, if you just have two of those things, you can have a successful, good show. You need at least two of them, but you don't need the third one. One of the things that makes a good game is a good map. I think that a good game also needs a good map, because it's been, we can all name maps that are just iconic, and that even if the game is kind of shitty, I could still spend hours playing this shit just because of the map in itself. Some of the more goated maps, if you ask me, is Fortnite. When it comes to Fortnite, it has goated fucking maps, but it also has maps that's kind of like, yeah, kind of shitty. There's just something when a game has a really beautiful map and a really well-made map where it just fits the game like Fortnite. It feels big and open, but yeah, it still has parts where it feels close, but it's not too big, and it's not too open, but it's still open and big, you know what I mean? And Call of Duty has so many iconic maps. It's not just that they look good or where they're at, it's just how they work. Some of the maps have parts that is really nice and open, but you still have parts where it's closed, so you get a bit of everything, but the parts that are open are not too open, the parts that are closed are not too close. It's just perfect overall, and it leads to a perfect dynamic, and when people are running around, it just fits, and if it's for multiple game modes, like Capture the Flag, if it's for Domination, if it's for Gun Game, if it's for everything. Now, when a map is shitty and doesn't really flow, let's say you're playing Team Deathmatch and it doesn't really flow, it's confusing, it's big, or it's too open in certain places, it can just ruin the game, even if the games are really fucking good. Because you also want something that is like, you want it to flow, you want it to be smooth, to, you know, get around the map and this and that. You want it to flow when you play the game. You don't want to be confusing, looking at the map being like, where the fuck do I go from here? Do I like go left? Or you just want to be able to run around and find out. Even if you're new to it, still figure out where you are, and having it not be confusing is kind of a hard thing to do, but it's an important thing to do, an important thing to spend time on, so it just flows. No, I'm gonna pitch this like a Shark Tank idea. I feel like a genre of horror games that we've not seen that could be really fucking cool and that I would love to see is open world horror. Like, I would love to see like an open world horror game. It's like fucking Pale World but mixed with like Resident Evil and just combined these two. Because I feel like a lot of horror games are kind of confined. Like, yes, it is open world, but I can't really do what I want to do, and sometimes they're not really scary to me. They're not really spooky. I want to build my own house. I can make my own guild of fucking goobers, and we can like try to survive for as long as possible while it gets harder and harder and harder. And like, smaller mechanics that I think would be kind of cool to add would be like you can tame animals or you can craft stuff. I think crafting should be a thing in the game. You can craft weapons. Over time you get better weapons and you can make like weapons to protect your base or your animals, or you can equip like a, I don't know, like a machine gun to a dog or something. That's kind of stupid, but I just feel like that would be cool, and I feel like that would be so good, so fun. And the hard thing about it is getting it between the line of goofy and the line of serious, because you can't go too goofy with it, but it still has to have some level of goofer in it. You know what I mean? It still has to be kind of fun and exciting, but at the same time still scary, and where you kind of think of what you're doing before you do it. Should I really go out in the night? Should I really do this? Let me not do this. I think that would be dope. And I think trying to keep the monsters as hidden as possible, so you know, like, so you don't really know what it is. Because I feel like once you know what it is and you know how it works, it's not as scary because it's not the unknown. You don't know what it is, which is kind of what makes it scary. You don't know if you can do this or do that. You don't know anything about it. So I feel like also new mobs should come in just to keep it fresh. Before there's this, stay tuned, more about it at the end of the video. I feel like a lot of games nowadays are becoming way too repetitive. It's the same. I feel like 90% of the games coming out feel the same. It feels like they're just fucking pumping out the goddamn same game. Like, what? It feels like originality is becoming more and more rare. Now, the game that got me kind of thinking about this was BO6. I kind of like BO6, I'm gonna be honest. It feels a bit repetitive at times, but I kind of like the Omni mode. I love it's fucking goofy. I love that you can fucking 360 no-scope over building and look super stupid. And I love that you can take people's amnesia. That's just great for content and great in general for fun. So I feel like that's just one step in the right direction, even though it sometimes feels repetitive. But then you have other games like Concord. I think they had the right idea when making it, but they were really bad at executing it. Because it feels like Overwatch and Apex combined and just a generic shooter in general. I'm not gonna go too much into it, you already know. But I feel like a lot of games coming out nowadays are like that. I feel like one way to really tell if a game's gonna be shitty, if its primary game mode is either push, capture the flag, team deathmatch, or anything like that, it's gonna be generic. Now, with it, there are good games coming out. We got some diamonds in the rough. I think Black Myth Wukong is a pretty good one, and I think there's I think like 20% games coming out every year are good. But they're usually story, which, you know. So I'm not saying there's no good games coming out. I'm just saying I feel like a lot of the games coming out now are like sequels, and basically the same game. It's primarily with FPS games, which I kind of get why it's like that. But sometimes I'm like, you know what would be kind of cool? Kind of like a game like, kind of like Elden Ring, I guess, but multiplayer. Not just straight up multiplayer Elden Ring, not like that, but like, you know, kind of the similar vibe and movements and stuff like that. I would love to see that. I would love to see new ideas, but I feel like at times it's just the same old, same old. This is the Salvation Army. They try to give help to people who need it, people who are homeless, people who need to get back on their feet. They try to help them get back on their feet, providing food, water, shelter, and all that to them. A lot more down in the description below. The link is down to you can donate to if you want to make sure to do your own research about it. And yeah. By the way, can we talk about I love Nugget Fruity. Don't get me wrong with this. I love the man. But can we talk about how he's like no swearing? Oh shit, you swear? Yeah, let me just stab you repeatedly. You get stabbed down like you're in the middle of goddamn Birmingham. That's the punishment for swearing. Oh, you committed the unforgivable sin now. Shall shank you down, Mike. That's fucking funny, ain't it? This video is something different. This is a bunch of in-cars that never really made it into videos, but I just have them laying around, and I figure some of them are funny, so why not make a compilation? So, enjoy the little compilation of me yapping. I want to watch the Slenderman one, right? It's a bit cozy outside, it's about to be October, it's a bit dark. I'm like, you know what, I ain't seen this in a long time, let me see it. I go to see where I can watch it. Have something, please. What the fuck is a filler, and why is it on there? It's not like, put it on at least like a Netflix, Disney, HBO. Like damn. Give me something to work with. I even made popcorn, you. I'm not stealing, I'm just recording it, and it's so meant to catch these people. Oh no, where's my microphone still?
But it's adorable, so I need to help it. But anyway.
So weird how my microphone all of a sudden just turned down. I'm on Google Maps for it. I'm looking for more B-roll footage. And I go over Nashville, because I'm like, you know what? Let me try Nashville. Why is the fucking street guy's neck all of a sudden broken? What? And it only happens over Nashville. I know they do this for like some things, like over Area 51 is a UFO and stuff like that. But what the fuck is this random blue guy? I was like, wait, did they change the fucking icon? No, it's just... What did Nashville got to do with it? What the hell happened in goddamn June 2024? 10 fast people in car crashes? Whoa. What happened? Damn. And, 357 played in the last 2 minutes. That's really good. Damn. There's a lot of people playing it in college. We can clearly see that, but... Damn. This is actually a bit funny. I'm looking at Slenderman stuff because I'm like... If you watch the start of the video, you know why. No way this gotta be fake. Also doing it in like 2020. Like, damn. Like, no way motherfucker don't see the cameraman obviously standing here. You can clearly see it's a... I mean, this one would scare me too. This one would get me. If I walked in and I saw that shit, I would have been fucking terrified too. But yeah, this is the end of the first one. I'm probably going to make more of these, because one, I had a really fun time making it. Two, I have so many of them just laying around that it's insane, and I'm probably going to make more in the future. So, yeah. But I hope you enjoyed it, and I don't know why, but recently YouTube just started recommending me old stuff I used to watch when I was a kid, and I just been playing it and watching it in the background while I was working, and it kind of gives me a little bit of a nostalgic feel to it. It still has a bit of a nostalgic feel to it, but I know it's not going to last. But also, me and my friends recently was like, hey, there's nothing to fucking play. We're bored, there's nothing to play. Let's buy some of the old games we used to play and let's play them. So we got COD, we got Skate Free, we got Halo, we got all that. And we just played it, and we had a fucking blast. But we know that what mainly carried that whole feeling, and what mainly carried that whole thing, was the nostalgic feeling. Not only, of course the games did some too, but it was that nostalgic feeling that made it extra fun. But we know it's not gonna last, and now we're back looking at new games. But just watching these videos and really going down the road of old stuff, there's just something magical about nostalgia itself. There's just something about it that leads you wanting more of it. Kind of like a drug, you want more of it. First when you start it, it's kind of nice, but then you want more of it. You want to re-feel that feeling that you think you felt back in the day. You want to basically go back to that time. You want to relive that time, which can end up making you do kind of like, you can sit there and play an old game, but it can also lead to disappointment in a way. When you do try to chase it, and if you finally, let's say, you play an old game, right? You used to play this game a lot when you were a kid, and you finally got your hands on it and you replayed, and it's not the same. The disappointment is just next level, but it's because you're not a kid no more. It's not just the game that made it what it was a bunch of other factors. The fact that you were probably a kid, that you didn't have anything to do, you could just chill all day, that probably contributed to this. And it was not just a game, it was all these things combined. But you just remember the game, just remember feeling happy when you played the game. But you don't feel that anymore because you don't have the same factors. It's not the same scenario. I also kind of think that nostalgia for some people can be too much of a thing, because you see them trying to chase that thing too much. You see them trying to chase them old memories too much, or the past too much, or try to recreate it, which in the end kind of leads to them getting stuck. No, I'm not a philosophy major, I only make fun of them. I have never actually gotten one. Yeah, a degree in it. But I do think that sometimes people get stuck in it and get stuck in the past, trying to re-chase that old nostalgia or try to regain it more. Like, so nostalgia is one hell of a drug, for sure, that you should not. I want to say not take, but you can take it occasionally. This sounds fucking weird in a metaphorical way. I'm not a philosophy major. I'm sure shit not an expert on drugs. Only meth. Okay. That's a joke. Don't do meth. I don't do meth. Also, you shouldn't do it. Before this is charity, more about it at the end of the video. I'm gonna be honest when I say this. I feel like video game prices are getting out of hand. I feel like not only the prices with the games, like the games are still like $40 for a AAA game, but I feel like the actual product should not be worth $40. And I also kind of feel like that the in-game items are just way too fucking expensive for no reason. Like, I'm not gonna pay the same price I pay for the game for like a fucking skin or a knife. I'm not gonna do that. That's stupid. Like, come on. And I just feel like it's getting higher and higher. I feel like back in the day you could grind for a skin or some cool or weapon skin, and it wasn't too difficult. Like, you could play the game and get things. Now, sure, I guess sometimes you can still do it, but it's like 400 hours of grinding for a fucking boot. It's just not worth it in the end. It's just stupid. And it's just so expensive. I feel like Fortnite did a really good job in the start with, they introduced like the whole made the battle pass thing popular, and the prices were fine and decent. And I feel like other game studios took that, ran with it, and just kind of fucking made a train wreck out of it. Like, I like the battle pass idea. I know some people are against it, but I kind of think it's decent, like $10, and you can grind for 100 tiers. I think that's decent. I think that's fine. But look at Overwatch, for example. Look at the prices of this shit. Look at how expensive this is. Look at Valorant. Look how expensive this is. And I would say with Valorant, if I could sell them like I could in CS, yes, I might have bought more knives. I might buy more knives. But I can't sell them. I also don't think you can sell your account. I think you get banned for that. So there's like no... Like, yeah, I bought a couple. Like, I bought some, but I'm not gonna buy a lot of them. And kind of Overwatch is just... You get like a fancier version of another skin that's already existed, but for like $20, you know what I mean? And that's just too expensive for me. I'm not gonna pay that for it. Again, if you want to spend money on these things, if you want to buy these things, you do you. I'm not gonna tell you what to spend your money on, right? But I just think it's getting too expensive, and that's just how it is. So, I didn't really know what to do with today's charity, so just love yourself, and yeah, that's about it. But like, sometimes it feels like I have to take out a second mortgage just to afford like this skin in a video game, and it shouldn't be that way. Do I think that we're gonna see the decline of this? Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. I feel like maybe at one point, because like they're all slowly raising the prices, so I feel like at some point people are gonna get just too fed up. Like $50-$60, people are gonna get too fed up, and then they're gonna be like, okay, we're gonna drop them, and then they're gonna slowly try to do it once again. Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. This is a bit of a different video from normal, but I still want to ask this question because I was talking to somebody not long ago, and we got on top of that. Hey, isn't it kind of insane how YouTube's been around for so long and it's still going off? It's still strong. It's still popular. And then we kind of ask ourselves, is YouTube ever gonna die? Like, this app has been around for over 20 years. I think 20 years, 18, whatever the hell. Long, long time. And it's still going strong. And some of the reasons why I believe this is, one, due to it's not the same people. If you look back 10 years ago, the same people who were popular 10 years ago are not... They're still popular today, don't get me wrong, but they're not the forefront, right? They used to be the forefront, but now it's somebody else. So it's constantly changing. It's not the same people, it's not the same content, it's constantly changing. And I think that also kind of leads it to number two. There's huge variety. If you want to watch gaming, there's gaming. If you want to watch podcasts, there's podcasts. If you want to watch somebody yap like me, that's what you're doing right now. There is such a huge variety. With that word. But will YouTube ever die? And can it ever die? Of course it can die. Everything can die. It's not like a thing. Everything can die. But will it? Probably. I don't see it competitive anytime soon, and I don't see it dying anytime soon. If I had to guess when YouTube would die, I would say in 14 years. Because in 14 years, who knows, what happens in 14 years? Who knows what have happened in 14 years? So that's the kind of the only logical thing I can think of. This one's just, no, it's not like a hard point, it's just kind of like some I've experienced and you probably have. That is, you're used to YouTube. You grew up with YouTube. You probably watched it when you were a kid. You grew up with it. You still probably watch it. I know you do, unless somebody stole this and put it on TikTok. And you're watching this with Subway Surfer in the background or that NAF game.